Okay, so let us continue with the topic. So we are now here in deferred revenue or unearned revenue. Okay, other accounting authors, they will call it as deferred income or unearned income. Okay, there's no problem with that. They are just similar. Okay, so deferred revenue or unearned revenue, okay, are advances or advanced collection from customers. It is not an income but a liability. Okay, notice, sa kanyang account title, may revenue din na kasali, di ba? Deferred revenue. But just like deferred expense, okay, though may expense siya sa account title niya, pero by nature, hindi pa talaga siya expense. Okay? Asset muna. Okay? So si deferred revenue, ganun din. May revenue siya sa dulo ng kanyang account title, but by nature, hindi pa talaga ito income. Why? Because hindi pa tayo nakapag-render ng service. Hindi pa tayo nakapag-deliver ng item kang client. Okay? So the moment or the date ng pagtanggap mo ng advance payment from your customers at hindi ka pa nakapag-render ng service, hindi pa siya income. Liability muna ito. Okay? Relating it to the revenue recognition principle. Okay? When you say revenue recognition principle, income is recognized when earned regardless when received. So that means magre-record lang daw tayo ng income kapag earned na ito. Kailan? Kapag nakapag-render na ng service, nakapag-deliver na ng item. Regardless kung kailan magbabayad si customer. Okay? So I did emphasize this one in my previous discussion na binayaran or hindi binayaran provided nakapag-render na ng service, income na ito. Pero sa case ni deferred revenue, okay, may collection pero wala pang na-render na service. Therefore, hindi pa siya income. It is a liability. Okay? So let's proceed with our example. On May 1, Santos received 10,000 as an advance payment for laundry services. Assuming that it was only 6,000 of the laundry has been delivered to the customer during May 31, okay, 2019. Okay, so what will be our adjustment? Okay, let us examine the problem. It is during May 1 na nakatanggap tayo ng advance payment for the laundry services. Now you ask yourself, nakapag-render na ba? Nakapag-perform na ba ng service? The answer is no. Diba? During May 1. That is why, during May 1, okay, hindi pa siya income. Liability muna siya. So ang entry natin sa book natin is, you debit cash and you credit the liability account na unearned revenue. Okay? Debit cash, 10,000 and credit unearned revenue, 10,000. So ang ginagawa natin, okay? Of course, nag-increase si cash ng 10,000 at nag-increase din ang ating liability. Again, si unearned revenue, may revenue siya sa dulo pero hindi pa siya income. Diba? Liability. Therefore, nag-increase din si liability ng 10,000 kasi nga ang normal balance ng liability is credit. Na kini-credit natin pag nag-increase. Okay? So at the end of the year, kailangan natin mag-adjust. Why? Because portion of the liability o portion ng unearned revenue na 10,000, okay, ay magiging income na dahil nakapag-render na tayo ng service. Diba? And kailan nakapag-render ng service? It was during May 31. 6,000 daw ng 10,000 ay na-deliver na. Therefore, yung 6,000 ay ire-record na natin as income. That is why our adjusting entry naka-credit na si service revenue na 6,000 at binawasan lang natin ang liability. 'Di ba? From credit, okay, we decreased our liability by 6,000. Okay, so we debit. We decrease our liability, so we debit 6,000. Ngayon, if tatanungin kayo, how much would be the unearned revenue as of May 31, 2019. Okay? So merong unearned revenue na lang na 4,000. Diba? Kasi si 6,000 ay income na, hindi na liability. Okay? So I hope that is clear. Let's have another example. Okay. On November 1, MMC accounting firm received 30,000 from a client for the 2-year contract of accounting services. How much is the adjustment at the end of the year, December 31, 2019? Okay. Let's just edit. Okay, December 31, 2019. Okay. So during November 1, nakatanggap tayo ng advance payment from client. Ba? So wala pa tayong na-render na service. Therefore, as of November 1, 2019, hindi pa siya income. Liability muna ito. So we will debit cash. Okay, that will cause an increase sa ating asset, and we will credit an earned revenue, which is a liability account. Again, an earned revenue, deferred income, unearned income, liability. Therefore, we also increase the liability by 30,000. Okay, kasi hindi pa tayo nakapag-render ng service. That is why hindi siya income, kundi liability muna as of November 1. Okay, now assuming we will be closing the book na by December 31, 2019, we will need to make another adjustment. Kasi nga, portion ng 30,000 na liability ay magiging income na. Okay, kailan ba mag-start yung 2-year contract of accounting service? That is November 1. Therefore, 2 months out of 2 years or 24 months ay na-earned na. Right? That is 2 months. Okay? So how to compute for the income? So 30,000 divided by 2. Okay? Ibig sabihin, so first year of the contract, ang may earn natin is 15,000. Okay? But since 15,000 is good for 1 year, and we are closing the book by December, only 2 months pa lang ang, okay, makukonsider natin as earned or service income. So times 2 over 12 for 12 months, that is 2,500. Okay? So ang gagawin natin, yung unearned revenue, babawasan, which is a liability. So i-debit natin siya para mabawasan, and we credit the income. Diba? Si income, ang normal balance niya ay credit. So pag nag-increase ng income, we credit. Okay? So we credit service revenue. So ganun lang. Pwede din, ang computation mo is 30,000, okay, times 2 months. Or kukunin mo yung monthly. 30,000 divided by 24 times 2. Okay? Pero for you to be guided, you just use my computation here. Okay? You also have to explore other options kung saan kayo mas comfortable mag-solve. Okay? So ganun lang. So as of December 31, magkano na lang ang ating liability account or magkano na lang si unearned revenue? 30,000 minus 2,500. Yun na lang ang magiging unearned revenue natin or liability. And in the future, magdi-decrease iyon. Okay? Depende na kung ilang months or year na ang na-render hanggang sa fully out na ma-zero natin ang liability na unearned revenue. Okay? So we're done with the deferral na. Okay? We will proceed with accrual. Okay. So kung si deferral accounting ay may 2 types din na deferred expense and accrued, deferred expense and deferred income, si accrual naman it also has 2 types. Okay? So accrued expense, accrued revenue, or accrued income. Okay, ganon. So accrued expense or expenses already incurred but not yet paid and recorded sa book. Okay. Bago ngayon makakapag-prepare ng financial statements, di ba? May mga adjusting entries tayo na gagawin. Okay, that Yan yung sinabi ko during my initial discussion. Okay? So for accrued expense, ito yung mga expenses na nakita ni accountant na at the end na of the accounting period ay may mga expense pa pala na hindi pa natin nababayaran. Okay? Nag-due na pero hindi pa natin nababayaran. Okay, these are accrued expense. So ang gagawin ng accountant, i-record ito sa libro at magre-recognize tayo ng liability. Kasi expense na ito pero hindi pa bayad. Therefore, we are obligated or we have that obligation to pay these amounts at the near future. Accrued expense. Okay? Sa accrued revenue naman are revenue that have been earned but not yet received and recorded. Okay? So ito yung income na earned na. Bakit nasabi natin na earned na? Dahil nakapag-render na ng service pero hindi pa lang nagbabayad si customer. Okay? Or hindi pa lang natin ito natatanggap. Okay, so let's start accrued expense. Okay, so for the month of December, ABC Company had used a total 8,100 worth of electric and water. The bill was received in January 5, 2020. Okay, diba closing na ng book, following calendar year method. Okay, close na natin ang book by December 2019. At may nakita sa ABC Company na hindi pa bayad na expense. Pero dahil babayaran pa lang natin ang bill by January 5, 2020, kaya as of December 2019 na i-close natin ang book, okay, i-record na natin ang expense. Pero since hindi pa tayo magbabayad, liability na muna. Utang muna natin ito as of December 2019. Kasi nga, January 5 pa natin ito babayaran. Okay? So, you debit expense. Expense na siya. Okay? Pero, hindi pa tayo mag-credit ng cash. Kasi due, okay, so this expense will be due by next year pa man. Okay? So, we will just debit expense and credit payable. Okay, so debit utilities expense and credit utilities payable. Okay, so utilities ang ginamit na account title because it is referring to electric and water expense. Okay, so ganun lang. Si accrued expense, mga expense yun sa book na at the end of the year na natin nakita. So ang gagawin, i-record na natin as expense since due na naman ang mga expense na yun or na-incur na ng business. Pero, hindi pa tayo mag-credit ng cash. Payable muna. Okay? Next, ABC Companies pays 20,000 monthly salary to its secretary. Employees are paid twice a month. Every 18th of the month and the remaining half, third day, okay, so let me just change that one. Third day of the following month. Third day, okay. Third day of the following month. Okay. So sa ABC Company, okay, nagbabayad siya ng sahod sa kanyang employee twice a month. Okay, every 18th of the month and yung kalahati nun ay babayaran pa the following month. Okay? So sa December 30, so if we are going to compute for the salaries expense, okay, binayaran na ang 10,000, right? Kailan? December 18. At ang half ng 20,000, which is 10,000, that will be due on January next year. So yun ang gagawin natin na adjustment. Expense na siya, 'di ba? Kasi nga nakapag-render na naman ng nakapag-render na naman ng service yung secretary. Therefore, naka-incur na ng expense si company. May na-incur na tayo na salaries expense. Pero, since hindi muna tayo magbabayad, okay, as of December 31, 2019, liability muna. Hindi tayo mag-credit ng cash. Okay? So, to adjust that one, we'll debit salaries expense and credit salaries payable. Payable muna siya as of closing of the year. Another example na accrued expense, okay, income tax. Okay? Si income tax, babayaran daw siya April 15 of the following year. Therefore, yung income tax for the year 2019 ay babayaran, okay, on or before April 15 next year. Pero since we will be closing the book by December 2019, ang status niya as of December 2019, payable muna siya. Okay, accrued expense siya. So you debit income tax, okay, and you credit, okay, tax payable. Okay, so let me just change my entry. That is okay, income tax payable muna. Okay, so to sum up, pag sinabi accrued expense, okay, these are accounts na na-incur na ng business. Pero, i-record mo na ito as liability kasi nga, hindi pa natin ito babayaran as of the end of the year. Okay? Accrued income. Okay. So, this is an opposite sa deferred expense. Kasi nga si deferred expense, nakakolekta na tayo from customer pero hindi pa tayo nakarender ng service. This one naman, si accrued income, nakapag-render na pero hindi pa tayo nakakolekta kang customer. Nakapag-render na tayo ng service, right? Okay? And since nakapag-render na tayo ng service, income na ito. Okay? So example, on December 1, 2019, Bloom's Garden rendered landscaping services to a customer for 10,000 monthly fee. It was agreed that the payment will be collected 15 day of the following month. Therefore, makokollect lang natin si 10,000 next year pa. Diba? Pero nakapag-render na tayo ng services. That is why, kung i-adjust natin ang book by December 31, income na siya. Okay? We credited service revenue na. Okay? Pero dahil hindi pa nga nagbabayad si customer, may receivable tayo sa kanya. So we will debit accounts receivable. That is accrued income. Okay? So ganun lang. Kasi accrued expense, expenses na nag-due na pero hindi pa natin babayaran, kaya payable muna. Sa accrued income naman, these are considered income na ng business since nakapag-render tayo ng service. Pero hindi pa nagbabayad si customer, kaya receivable muna siya. Okay? Doubtful accounts expense. Okay? So doubtful accounts expense estimates and collectible amount for credit sales or revenue. Okay? These are estimates lang. Okay? So at the end of the year, since ang goal nga natin ay makapag-prepare ng fair and reasonable financial statements, may mga estimates din tayo na gagawin. Okay? So, i-assist nyo yun sa business like 5% siguro na aking mga accounts receivable o mga pagkakautang sa akin ay hindi na mababayaran or maaaring hindi ko na makolekta. Okay? So, that is doubtful accounts expense. Portion of those utang, okay, na dili na, okay, na may chance na hindi na mababayaran. Okay? But these are just estimates muna. Because when you do business, you are expecting you will not just get a cash sale. Okay? You will have credit sales. That is, nag-render ka ng nag-render ka ng service pero inutang. Nagbenta ka ng goods pero inutang. Those are credit sales. And out from those credit sales or accounts receivable, portion of those mag-estimate ngayon sa business. Ilang porsyento or how much from the total receivable ang hindi ang doubtful na makokollect pa natin. So that is doubtful accounts expense. Example, Bombay Company estimates that 2,000 of its accounts receivable for the year ending December 31, 2019 will not be collected. Okay, again, so let me just remind you, these are just estimates muna. Okay, estimates lang siya. So to adjust the book, okay, we will just debit bad debts expense and credit allowance for doubtful accounts. Okay? So just like accumulated depreciation, si allowance for doubtful account is a contra asset, meaning deduction siya sa asset. Diba? So to get the cost of the asset, that is asset, okay, like for example, the PPE minus the accumulated depreciation, yun na yung kanyang perceived na value. Okay. Ang treatment naman sa allowance for doubtful accounts, i-deduct natin ito sa accounts receivable. Therefore, dinidecrease niya, okay, pinapababa niya ang value ng ating accounts receivable. The higher the bad debts, the lower will be our receivable or estimated na mare-recover pa sa ating accounts receivable. Okay? Another example. Pautang company estimates that 5% of its accounts receivable amounting to 120 will not be collected. Okay, so these are just estimate again. So nag-estimate si pautang company na ay 5% hindi na makukolect. Okay? So, you just convert the 5% into decimal, diba? So 0.05 times 120,000, you got 6,000. Okay? So still, same lang yung entry. No? Hindi na magbabago, fix yung entry niya. So budget's expense, 6,000 and credit allowance for doubtful accounts. Okay, so if tatanungin ka ngayon sa exam, magkano na lang ang realizable value ng accounts receivable? That is, 120,000, you deduct the allowance for doubtful accounts na 6,000. Okay, yun na lang ang realizable value niya. Okay? Because ang 6,000, ini-estimate mo na hindi mo na ito marirecover. Okay? So that is about doubtful accounts expense. Alright, so we're done with the adjusting entry. So I hope you've learned something. And if you have questions, you can always comment down below the video. Thank you so much for listening and God bless you all.